What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Sports Sidebar Podcast. You're tuning in with your boy Rich, and I'm here with my buddies Tom and JD, and we're about to get this thing started. Let's go. Yeah, we got another brand new one for you guys. Got a fire one for you, hot one for you. Just like this heat. How's everybody doing tonight?
Trying to stay cool, Rich. It's hot up here.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. It was 90 some degrees, then it started raining, but then it's still like 80, 90 degrees. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I thought that rain was supposed to cool it off.
Nah, they're talking about it was supposed to be rain and possible tornado warning, like 25 mile per hour winds.
Oof.
And then I checked the temperature, it's still saying 80, 90 degrees. Like,
oh yeah, it's a hot one.
Something's going wrong here. It's like when you're in the shower and you got the water on.
You're like, still sweating.
Yeah, or you got the shower on hot and you're supposed, but it's like you're like not hot.
Yeah.
And then somebody comes in and like flushes the toilet or something, and the water gets like scorching hot.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what the hell is going on? This is not supposed to be happening. So I mean, let's get right to it.
Aaron Rodgers not on the opt-out list, so.
Yeah. So I mean, looks like he's gonna stick to his guns and not play until he gets traded, or he's gonna show up to camp.
Yeah, we'll see. You know what? It's kind of it's the match is going on right now. For those that don't know, Brady Mickelson versus DeChambeau Rodgers. Be interesting what kind of, because they've been having a lot of back and forth. What kind of conversations that Brady and Rodgers have during this? So I'd be curious to know if because Tom kind of went through the same thing. Not the same thing, but he had to deal with the Patriots were tough on contracts, and he had to deal with getting dealt third class receivers, and kept taking pay cuts to get the team better, and obviously they did well in New England, but I think at the end it was just too much for both sides. So I wonder how what these conversations are like between these two guys on the side.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Brady's also telling them about where to go based off his experience with some of the teams that were trying to get him during the offseason.
Exactly. And I think at this point for both those guys, it's having a coach that'll kind of give you some free reign and a good ownership crew. I think Rodgers seems not so happy with the upper management there. And I know there's not one owner, but the decision, it's a lot of Green Bay owners. But the decision makers at top, I feel like that he's just not happy with them.
I feel like he wants to really go somewhere where he has a voice. It doesn't seem like he had that in Green Bay. Being that he was asking for help on the offensive side of the ball, didn't get any at all, pretty much. They pretty much kept drafting defense. But I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. What's the best option for him? Who actually makes that push to try to get him. I hear some teams are still interested, but Green Bay is kind of not budging right now. So we're gonna have to wait till somebody play. Pretty much a game of chicken right now.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily blame Green Bay either. I mean, the guy's under contract. What are you going to do other than if someone blows you away with a ridiculous offer? But you're trading a top 3 in the league quarterback, so you better have a backup plan.
Yeah, and I think they're still evaluating Love. So
I think if they really felt like Love was the answer, I feel like they'd make this trade. So I just don't think that he's the guy, or that maybe he's not ready yet.
Yep. So I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, if you had the guy already ready, just like when Rodgers was the backup and Favre was the starting quarterback. I mean, they had no problem moving on with from Brett Favre, but just Jordan Love kid doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean they came off of an NFC championship, right? And then Brett Favre was gone the next year. So, they're not afraid to make the change, but I think, like you said, I think they need to make sure they have the right guy, and I don't think they're fully convinced by Jordan Love yet. I'm
also interested to see what kind of deal he goes for. Is it kind of like the Deshaun Watson deal where, they wanted 3 1s and, a player, or is it 2 1s, we're kind of getting ready to start the season another month and a half or so. So,
yeah, I think it's going to be a hefty package. And the problem with, the big difference between Watson and Rodgers is obviously the age, right? I mean, Watson's 25, 26. Rodgers is, I think he's 38 now, right? 37, 38, somewhere in there. So, at least with Watson, if you're giving up 3 or 4 1s or 3 1s, you got him for 10, 15 years, right? So
Oh yeah, it'd be interesting to see, if it's a close to that package, or is it three ones or two ones, or maybe just one,
Yeah.
and maybe a backup quarterback, or let's say if there's rumors about Carolina, trading a quarterback and a one, or somebody else. So we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yep.
Let's get right to it. NBA Finals kicking off right now. We got the Phoenix Suns playing the Milwaukee Bucks. Did a little survey earlier to see, how people were feeling out there. It looks like a lot of people were rooting for the Suns on this one. How do you feel about this matchup?
I think it's dependent on how healthy Giannis's knee is. I do think that they have a guy in DeAndre Ayton that can neutralize him. I think the Suns probably get the kind of the edge because of the CP3 factor and Devin Booker. They got some scores. I think if you look at the Bucks, you basically got Giannis and Chris Middleton, and then Drew Holiday's been better lately, but he's kind of on off kind of guy. So I think the big edge in this series is to Phoenix, and I think that's why people like them. And they're just a likable team. I know some people don't like CP3, but I think overall they're a pretty likable team.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually running Ayton on Giannis right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to go with Phoenix as well, because I feel like Phoenix doesn't go as cold as Milwaukee can. I mean, Milwaukee get a little 3-point happy and they start shooting a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
I mean, the Suns, they're pretty much like an inside out game. So I mean, with Chris Paul and Devin Booker, working that mid range game, I think it's gonna give them a lot of problems.
Yeah, no, I agree. How long do you think this series goes? What are your thoughts?
I think with Giannis playing, I think it goes still 6 games.
Yeah.
I think Phoenix will win the first 2 at home. Then the Bucks will win the first 2 at home, and then Phoenix will win it and put them away.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they have a similar series to what they just had with the Clippers. I think that they take the first 2 at home. They split 2 in Milwaukee. Milwaukee comes back to win 1 in Phoenix, and then they put them away in Milwaukee. Or actually,
Yeah.
Are they starting in Phoenix?
Yeah, it's 2 in Phoenix, 2 in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And then it goes 1-1. It's like 1-1-1-1.
Yeah, so that's what I think. I think that's where we're heading.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's also really interesting to see how the other role players show up from Milwaukee, because they pretty much helped them get past Atlanta. It's gonna be interesting to see if they can do that in this round, if Giannis is hobbled or not, or even if they struggle again on those away games.
Yeah. I think it. I wonder how well Giannis's knee can hold up. I mean, he's only like a week removed from almost looking like he tore every ligament in his leg. I know it was only a hyperextension, but still, I feel like it's a little nerve wracking.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's already missing free throws, so.
I mean, he's never. It's not really a specialty.
Oh no, definitely not. And then for the other teams that didn't make it, we had the Clippers. Another tragic season for them. They didn't win. This year they went further than last year, but they didn't have Kawhi. I feel like they're gonna have to rebuild that team, man. I don't think something in me says Kawhi's gonna opt out.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. Something in me says Kawhi's gonna opt out. I'm not sure how they're feeling about Pat Bev and some of the other players. I think they're gonna go younger. Man and some of the other guys. So, but I think they'll keep Paul George as their centerpiece.
Yeah, I don't. I think Kawhi stays. I think I felt like big win for playoff P this year in the playoffs. I thought he played really well. Especially when Kawhi was gone. So I think Kawhi goes back and they try to run it back. I think they need probably a more. I hate to say it, but they need like a CP3 on their team to kind of run that offense. Someone like that. I think if they can get a hold of a player like that. I felt like Reggie Jackson. I think he's a free agent, but he his stock went through the roof. I think in the playoffs as well. So he's gonna be looking for some cash. But yeah, I think the Clippers kind of showed some some toughness, some grit. Ty Lue may be a better coach than
people thought. Yeah.
People thought. So I think Kawhi stays. I think they try to run it back, maybe try to add a piece or something like that. But I don't think that they're that far away, to be honest. If Kawhi's healthy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. They did have Rondo. That's the closest they'll probably get to Chris Paul as far as a point guard out there. I'm not sure who else can help him at that position. to help run that offense. Maybe they go out and they get Kyle Lowry or something for
Yeah.
a cheap deal, or because he has that. He's played with Kawhi. He has that that playoff pedigree
Hmm.
to possibly help him.
Yep.
He's out there. He could be out there flopping like Pat Bev. He's annoying at times. So we're just gonna have to wait and see.
I mean, no one's more annoying than Pat Bev. So
Yeah, I got the 1 game suspension.
that Tom was begging for.
Yeah, Tom was he even sent in a letter to the NBA Association about that. And the other team that didn't make it, I mean, they did great this season, but unexpected as far as where they can go.
Hmm.
The Atlanta Hawks, I mean, made it to the East Finals. I wouldn't be surprised if they get back next year. This was like their learning experience. DeAndre Hunter comes back. Cam Reddish was looking great. After he got his feet on the rim. It's gonna be interesting to see if if they can keep Collins, because he's gonna get a big payday.
Is he a free agent? Is he restricted?
I think he is. I think restricted free agent.
Yep. I could see a team or two trying to throw a contract, an offer sheet out to him. I don't know what Atlanta's cap situation is, but he was I thought he was pretty good this year. They showed well in the playoffs. So I'd certainly take him on my team, that's for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I feel some teams that weren't in the mix will probably go after him. Kind of just hoping that it'll do like a Julius Randle effect on their team, where they can make the playoffs. If they get a good coach, like the Magic. They go after Collins and they use their 2 first-round picks to get some players. So to get a solid foundation, and then some other teams as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors went after him, or some other teams.
Yeah, and I'd be curious to see if they run it back, what they can do with a healthy squad, and the playoff experience that they have, and obviously having a healthy Trae Young would help.
Oh yeah, I mean they got a lot of young pieces on that team.
They do.
So, but I think they're gonna have to go get another point guard. Not to take anything away from Trae Young, but I think when he's not on the floor, they kind of struggle offensively.
Yeah, they do. That second team needs some. They need a backup point guard in there. And I think that was the point of them having Rondo, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if it's somebody, I guess they thought maybe if they got Lou, he could run the point and score. But I think they really just need somebody that can facilitate. They didn't even have to score at that backup position, just to keep the offense going.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
Other news in the NBA, they had the leaked Rachel Nichols call from ESPN. I actually thought it wasn't that bad, but I mean, some people were a little upset about it. But I don't think it's something that she should lose her job over. Because she did speak some truth in it about ESPN not being the most favorable place for minorities, but maybe the way it came off to some people kind of seemed insensitive. But
yeah, I think they just took her off. She's not going to be on the finals, doing any sideline reporting on the finals. But I agree with you, Rich. I obviously I have a different I guess perspective. I don't know, maybe not a different perspective, but I think that was more of an indictment on ESPN than anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's what she meant. I don't think she meant it in a black versus white racist thing. To me it just felt like, hey, look, like I had to fight my ass off to get here because you guys don't give women a shot, and although I felt like she just didn't want anyone to take any part of the job that she was doing, right? Like she wanted to be the person in that position, and she felt like she had busted her ass to get there.
Like I said, I agree with you as well. Like I didn't think it was her, in any way being racist. It was more like you said, like a indictment on ESPN. And then when you look at it, Maria Taylor's I think her contract is up this year.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly there hasn't been any talks about ESPN renewing her or anything like that. So, I mean, that's another interesting fact. So, I mean, if it would be different if, they were trying to put her in the spotlight instead of Rachel. And then there was, and, she just renewed her contract for 4 years or something like that. But I mean, from what I read, there still hasn't been any contract negotiations with, Maria and ESPN. So, we're going to have to wait and see how this unfolds.
Yeah.
As well as if any other repercussions comes down on Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, I think she's I think she's probably going to keep her job, is my guess. But who knows? Who knows these days?
Yeah, because I mean, if they turn around and fire Rachel Nichols and then still don't
Extend Maria
renew,
Taylor.
so yeah, it's just like what is it's kind of like swept under the rug.
Yeah,
and it looks bad on ESPN.
It does, and I feel like ESPN's kind of they haven't been doing a great job lately, just in general. I mean, the Paul Pierce thing, they canned him over a guy just living his personal life.
Yeah.
And this one, I if they think that Maria Taylor is the better reporter, then like you said, sign her to a deal and say, hey, Rachel, you got the jump, but Maria Taylor's better at sideline reporting than you are, so we're putting her on there.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. If they think that she is the better reporter, then do it and put your money where your mouth is, but don't just demote Rachel Nichols and then not sign Maria Taylor because some bad audio came out about you, right? So yeah, it's a kind of a sticky situation.
Yeah, and then the timing of it. I mean,
yeah,
this was a recorded
a year ago
conversation a year ago. It's not like it was like a month later. So I mean, they knew about this for a while. I mean, somebody had to leak it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the purpose of them was. Maybe somebody had a conversation with Rachel that they didn't like, and then they decided to put her feet to the fire.
Well,
I mean,
who
report, knows?
I was gonna say the report I read said that they had a handful of people that were that always listen to these kind of they're listening to different feeds, and they had heard it and they recorded it on their phone and it started getting around ESPN. Apparently, basically all of ESPN knew within 24 hours. So they've basically sat on it for a year trying to figure out what to do. And I don't know how it got out to the public finally, but yeah, I think that internally, I think ESPN was kind of struggling. There's people taking sides and stuff like that. But yeah, welcome to the age of being recorded all the time.
Oh yeah, that's why they use social media in court on some people when they posting guns and them selling drugs when it's not the right thing to do.
One question on that, Rich. If ESPN decides to hold on to Rachel Nichols, and how does, because she's got a lot of insight on players in the NBA. Like a lot of them like to talk to her, open up to her. I mean, we saw, who was it? Jimmy Butler did that. So what do you think that the kind of the backlash from the players, if anything, would happen?
I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. But I mean, I'm sure the players are gonna get adjusted to it because I mean, you don't have a choice. The NBA's in bed with ESPN and Disney, so a lot of the finals games or playoff games are gonna be on there. But I think this gives other networks such as like Fox or Fox. I mean, they don't only really like FS, what they call FS Sports, to get some of those people. I feel like ESPN's letting go a lot of good people.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if FS1 went out there and they snatched them all up to give them a great product to compete with ESPN.
I mean, they've been trying for years, to I feel like scoop up these, maybe overpay for some good ESPN talent to try to contend with them. They just they haven't been able to find the right people, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job with they got Skip Bayless on there. But outside of that, I mean, the other shows, they haven't really been hitting like that. I mean, besides that, that's the only show I really watch on FS1. All the other ones, I used to watch the other one before, the one with Chris Carter, but they had a little situation and they had to let him go. So, but I feel like they have a great opportunity to get some of these people that left ESPN or ESPN hasn't renewed. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went out there and scooped them up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Because I think that would be great for them if, let's say they went and got Rachel or even some of the other guys that, let's say they don't sign Maria Taylor, they went out and got her. I think that would be great for them to, probably get her on college sports or you just keep her on the NBA. That's up to them. But I mean, they got a lot of options.
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, let's get into it, man. You wanted to get into the MLB All-Star game, All-Star selections. How are you feeling about the rosters?
I felt like MLB usually does a pretty good job with the rosters. I forget how they do it. I know they do a partial fan vote, partial player vote, and partial coaches vote, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's similar to the NBA where it's like
they kind of incorporate everybody. Yeah. I felt like it's They did a pretty good job. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be a couple guys that are left off that aren't too happy about it. I think Max Scherzer is kind of the one everyone's been bugging out about. But I think the pitchers are picked differently.
Yeah.
But anyways, I felt like they did a pretty good job this year. The Astros and Red Sox got probably what they deserve, the two best teams in the AL. Shohei Ohtani, he's going to be everyone's been all over him. Be the next Babe Ruth.
Yeah, first time in a while as a pitcher and a hitter.
What are your feelings on Shohei?
I think it's great for the game, man. I think it gives them more star power because you not only get to see him, on the mound, but you get to see him hit home runs. So, because usually, I mean, if you're pitching, let's say you pitch today, I mean, you're not pitching for another 4 or 5 games, depending on your team's rotation.
Yeah.
It's also it gives like little kids option to see, you can do both. You can be a pitcher and a batter. I mean, don't get me wrong. It might not ever be done again, but for people to see that, I think it goes a long way. Especially the fact that he's Asian.
Yep.
I don't think they've really had a go-to figure in baseball in a long time since if you want to count Ichiro.
Ichiro, yeah, Ichiro was big for them. I think Hideki Matsui was big, but yeah, I think this guy's like I feel like he's on a different planet than everybody else. It is it's kind of fun to watch, to be honest. See a guy that can go out here and lead the league in ERA and home runs at the same time is kind of cool.
Yeah, I also think it helps that he pitches too. So I mean, he's probably running the psych in his head to like, if I was a pitcher, what would I be pitching on on a 3-2 count or
sure, yeah,
a 3-0 count. So I'm sure that's helping him out as well. So.
No, yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, I think they did a good job. I mean, it like I said, it's tough, but I felt like they usually hit it pretty well. And then you got the home run derby. How you feeling there?
I mean, I got to go with Vlad, man.
Kind of hard not to pick Vlad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I mean, he's on my fantasy, not because he's on my fantasy team too, but I don't know. He's just been. It's one of those. It's like a breakout year for him. I mean, he kind of had it coming last year. You can see the momentum. But this year just like solidifies it. So I mean, he's also fun to watch. It looks like he's out there having fun. There's nothing you can say that's bad about him, so to say. It's like kind of like the people's champ.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it's gonna be fun to watch him. A couple of these guys hitting bombs at Coors Field. I mean, you got Pete Alonso as well, who can hit the ball a mile. So yeah, I'm excited to see those two. You got Matt Chapman, Ohtani, obviously. Trey Mancini, Trevor Story, Salvador Perez. I think it'll be, I think the home run derby kind of maybe lost its luster a little bit, but it's not like the dunk contest. I still feel like they get some decent, at least younger guys to come in and take some big rips.
Yeah, but I think this is the year for MLB to kind of gain some momentum back in the All-Star games. I felt like they've been struggling a little bit the last few. As far as like star power, I think this year going into this year, people know a lot more of the names that are in there, compared to previous years. I mean, you also got Ohtani. I mean, has there ever been a pitcher that won the
home run derby?
Yeah, the home run derby.
I doubt it. It wasn't around when Babe Ruth was around.
Yeah, so I mean, this could be a historical moment. I would love to see him and Vlad go back and forth.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I think that would be great for the game.
Yeah, two young rising stars, 2 guys probably battling for MVP right now. I mean, I know that Red Sox have Bogarts and Devers in that running, but I feel like these 2 guys are at the top of the league right now with their carrying their teams.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I would probably have to give it to Ohtani just because he pitches.
Yeah,
he's doing a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, but Vlad is definitely up there. He's putting in every ounce at bat to get them a win.
Hey, just like his dad, he's not he doesn't leave anything on the table when he swings the bat. Everything's out there.
He's trying to kill the ball. So it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. Time for another edition of JD's Bites and Brew. What you got for us?
All right. We did a little take on something, maybe basic, but tried to, make it a little on the healthier side. We did a egg salad sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So, boil up those eggs, let them cool off in an ice bath, chopped them up, threw them in with some Greek yogurt, fresh dill. Actually, threw a little cilantro in there, and then cut up a little celery and toss that in as well. And
Okay.
then put it on a toasted honey wheat roll, and threw some chopped up pickles in there as well. So, your classic egg salad, but we used Greek yogurt, keep it a little healthier than the mayo. But it came out pretty good.
Greek yogurt with egg salad? I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a little. So it basically substitutes for the mayo. You gotta
But
put a little
do you put
salt and pepper.
but do you put less of it because it's like more like
Yeah,
creamy, or
maybe a little less.
would
Yeah,
you use
so
like the same amount?
no, maybe a little bit less. It doesn't like blend, I guess, as well as the mayo does.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty close. Yeah, maybe use a little bit less,
I
but
might have
not.
to give that a try.
Yeah, if you throw a little salt and pepper in there, you can't really tell difference. I'm not
Yeah,
a
you taste
huge
mostly
mayo
eggs.
guy. Yeah, exactly. Not a huge mayo fan anyway, so using the Greek yogurt as a substitute isn't terrible. We actually substituted it quite a bit in some different things. We make dips and things like that. You can use it instead of mayo, and it does the trick. You just got to make sure you get the non-fat plain one, because if you have any sort of
Great.
flavor, it gets disgusting. I
Oh
one
man.
one time I thought I had just the non-fat plain, and it was a non-fat
Mm-hmm.
vanilla, and I forget what I was making, but it was inedible. And I was like, it's
So
vanilla.
you
It's
so
whatever.
when you get it, you got to get it with you got to get the no flavor one, right?
No flavor, plain, non-fat,
Plain,
plain.
non-fat plain. I'm try to do that this weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like I said, use maybe a little bit less than the mayo, but mix it in, give it a taste, see what you think, and then you can make adjustments from there.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely have to play around with that.
Yeah, if you want to go a little crazy, you can throw some bacon on there, bacon and egg salad sandwich. Maybe throw a little lettuce, make a you can jazz it up however you want. But yeah, the base of the egg salad is the most important part, and that was really good.
That makes me wonder how it would taste with potato salad.
So I've made potato salad with it before too, and it's good. I mean, like I said, it's to me that's the star of the show. There is the potatoes. So like I said, you put a little bit less in there. Even if you put a little bit less and throw like a dollop of sour cream in there, maybe to change the flavor profile a little bit, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
But with potato salad, I do the same thing. I don't use mayo typically for that anymore. I just use Greek yogurt.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to get out a try for these for the healthier options.
Yeah. Some of them, are pretty good. So not all the time does it work, but on this one, I feel like the Greek yogurt's a good substitute for the mayo.
Okay, and what are you drinking that down with?
All right, we're going back to the same brewery we were at last week, the Burlington Beer Company.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about last week, wasn't thrilled with the beer that we had last week, but this week I went with they had a Seances and Sacrifices 2021. So it's an Imperial Maple Stout aged in maple bourbon barrels, 11.5%. And it honestly, like, you don't really get that boozy taste. It's a stout, so it's a dark beer. But I thought the maple came through really good. The only kind of downside, and not for me because I like the flavor, but if you don't like smokiness, I felt like it pulled a little bit of the smokiness from the bourbon barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So you do get like a heavy maple up front, which is nice, nice and sweet. On the back end, it kind of the smokiness of that bourbon barrel kind of lingers a little bit. So it's not terrible, but and I like it, but some people don't really, they can their senses are heightened on smokiness. So yeah, I went with I thought it was really good. I'd probably give it like 8.3. They did
Oh,
a good
nice.
job with this one. So Burlington's kind of new to the barrel game too. They I don't know if last year or 2 years ago they released their first barrel aged stout. So now they're doing a lot more of it. And these things can, depending on the type of barrel you use and what you're trying to get out of it, it doesn't, it's tough. I feel like you gotta really master it. And there's a few breweries in the country that exclusively do bourbon or barrel aged stouts. So these guys are pretty good with it. They do a pretty good job. I feel like they match up the flavors really well, and this one is no different.
Oh, that sounds great, man.
Yeah, not too bad.
JD finding the beer of beers.
I'm always on the lookout, Rich. Don't you worry.
And then I said for JD's Bites and Brew. And not much in the BRRs this week. I mean, this week there was only the Tomorrow War. Did you get a chance to watch it yet?
Not yet. No, I haven't watched it yet. We watched what was the other one? The Quiet Place.
Oh, how'd you like? Yeah. How you guys like the first one?
I thought it was pretty good. Definitely didn't see the ending coming.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the daughter, figuring out that the creatures can't handle her cochlear implant there.
Yeah.
I felt like she was gonna do something to save her dad, like jump out of the car or whatever, or make a noise, have him come that way, and then turn on the earpiece, and that would be enough for them to be able to get away. Obviously, that wasn't the case, but she does figure it out and saves the rest of the family. Just didn't see. I guess I didn't see that coming, so I was a little shocked when it happened. But no, I felt like it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know.
What would you have gave the first one?
I'd probably give it like a 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I don't know. I felt like something was missing. Like we talked about it on the side, but like where there's no backstory or anything.
That was my thing to it too.
The only real thing you see is like in the paper, right? Like it's he's got all the papers on the wall of like indestructible and this and that, and how do we stop them, and all that good stuff. But it doesn't really. There's no real of anything of substance of where do they come from? What are they?
It's just like they're right into it. It's just like,
oh yeah, you jump right into it, right? With the they're walking on sand, they can't make any noise. So, but I felt like the storyline is good. If you had, and I know the movie is a little bit short. I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes. But if you extend it by 15 or 20 minutes and give a little, even if you jump right into it and then flash back to like what happened or, how did they get here kind of thing. And then you can jump more into the story and get into the, the first kid being swiped up. Right. But yeah, I felt like it just needed a little backstory.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I felt like, don't get me wrong, I didn't mind them getting straight into it, but I would have liked them to reveal stuff throughout the first movie, to give us some premises on like where they came from, what year was it,
right?
Like the first sighting, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I thought John Krasinski played the part real well. His wife there, Emily Blunt, was good. I mean, the acting was really good. I felt like even with the kids, and like I said, the storyline was good. It was just like, the only thing I don't get, like, how do they get into the house, but they can't get through a mattress on the floor, right? I mean, these guys with their freaking claws can cut through pipes and all this other stuff, but they hide in the basement under, I just felt like if you had 500 days of trying to, be quiet, and how do you not have a panic room by this point? You know what I mean? Like, I get that you can't make a lot of noise or any noise, but I still feel like there's a way that you can build, even if you how they were over like by the waterfall.
Yeah.
Can't you build something into that? Because you can be a little louder over there. Build something to protect yourself. I just felt like they had no.
I wasn't surprised they didn't build something by the water, as soon as possible.
Right. You're getting your food, and I get it that they want to be at their house where they have all their stuff, and they can still do a lot of things there. And fortunately for them, they already knew how to sign because they had a deaf daughter. But like, I feel like you got to get to a place where you can protect yourself better. If it's that long, I get day 90, you're still like trying to figure stuff out and whatever. But by day 500, I feel like now it's time to figure things out a little better. If we're gonna live in this long term, we can't live like the way that we're living right now.
Yeah, you pretty much got to get your game plan together. By day 500.
Exactly. I felt
like how you gonna kill these things, or how you gonna
exactly. You can't live like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I mean, as you can see, I mean, they couldn't because they kept making noise and
I know, that's what I
people
mean.
getting picked off.
Yeah, if you're gonna if you drop a a cup on the ground or something, and these guys are in your house in 2 seconds, it's like, yeah, there's no way. And then they definitely didn't figure out the whole like what's gonna happen when I go into labor thing.
Yeah, and I mean, you had 9 months for that. I mean,
I mean,
come on, like,
they figured out how to handle a baby, which is neat, right? Giving it the air and boxing it up. But like, how is she going to get through birthing this child in your house?
yeah, I mean, as I said, they should have had something, prepared or like just even a quiet room
Right.
where, you insulate the walls so
Exactly.
you can like talk or even have the baby.
Hmm.
Being that the baby's gonna be crying a lot, you
Yep.
know. So I mean, they do. I mean, when you let me know when you watch the second one and talk about it more to see
All right.
how you feel about the stuff they revealed in the second one,
Okay.
and if you like the second better than the first.
I'll have to use your Fire Stick to watch that one though.
But yeah, so I watched the Tomorrow War. I think I gave it a 7.8. I couldn't give it an 8. I know your brother said it was good. There were just a few parts that was like unrealistic to me. He's like going toe to toe with like an alien,
Hmm.
like fighting it, like hand to
Hmm.
hand combat. And like when you see these aliens, it's like there's no way he should be able to do that. But I mean, I like the story about it. They had a good like reveal of like where they came from.
Hmm.
Um, Kind of predicted it a little bit, but not to that level. I don't want to give it away. But
Hmm.
overall, it's a good movie. I mean, a lot of action scenes, had a little humor here and there.
Hmm.
Typical, Pratt movie. Kind of felt like he was Star Lord, all over again, but a little less jokey, but a lot more
Okay.
serious. But it was overall
Okay.
a good movie though, solid movie.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta get around to watching that one. Why is that? How long was it, Rich? I heard it might have been a little too long.
Nah, I don't think it was long. I think it was like maybe like 2 hours.
Oh, okay. That's
Oh,
not
2 hours
terrible.
and 20 minutes. But I
Oh,
mean, it goes by quick. It's not
goes
like
by quick. Doesn't
yeah,
drag.
it's not like a part where like when movies have that part where it's like
Yeah. What are we
a,
doing here?
yeah, like a few characters. Like I mean, it pretty much the story pretty much flows like throughout. Like it opens up with it gives you a little backstory. Comes home from looking for a job or whatever. It kind of explains the situation. How the people come, and then it gets right into it. People getting drafted.
Okay.
So I mean, it gets right into it. It's not like it's kind of like it kind of reminds me of like a Starship Troopers type movie.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, they get right into it. So I mean, it's pretty good. I like it.
All right. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have that lined up to watch.
And then I mean, I don't know if you want to get into this, man. I mean, Dom's supposed to be on here so he can state his claim for his Disney Plus, but I mean, he's scared out here. You don't want to admit Disney Plus is not the best streaming service right now. I mean, I looked up, I wanted to do a quick comparison, of, the services. They have the 30 best shows on Disney Plus right now. I mean, outside of, the WandaVision or Star Wars, everything else is cartoons, man. So I don't know what Tom's talking about. How this is better than Netflix or HBO Max.
I'm not the one that needs the convincing, Rich.
Yeah, he needs to get it together.
Yeah, I just think that if you're not, and I know that this is like hit up his alley, but if you're not a Star Wars or a Marvel person, or even if you're just like a casual fan, which is I'd probably consider myself a casual-ish fan. I like both, but I'm not like jumping out the door the first second they come out, right? So if you don't like either of those, or you're on the fence on either of those, then what does Disney Plus have that you would want to pay for,
Yeah, but I
right?
mean, not even. I mean, even if you did like them, I mean, how many times can you watch Star Wars and Marvel in a
No,
Marvel movie?
no, I'm
Like
not
if you,
talking. I'm not just talking about the movies. I'm talking like like the Mandalorian and the different shows that they're doing for Marvel now, stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, they only got 4 shows.
I I understand that, but they have. What I'm saying is that right as of right now they have four. They're building more, obviously, but my thing is if you don't like that stuff to begin with, or you're just lukewarm on it,
Yeah, there's nothing for you. It's just
there's nothing there unless unless you have kids, right? And then that's the only reason I got Disney Plus was for my kids. The added benefit is I can watch The Mandalorian when it comes out, and I was able to have Michelle watch all the Star Wars movies, so I got to rewatch those. But I'm not gonna watch them again, And even at that, I could watch them they're on TNT like once a month. So
and TBS.
Exactly. Like I don't need Disney Plus for that. So if I didn't have kids, I probably wouldn't have Disney Plus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. I don't understand how he thinks this service is better than everything else.
So the only argument against HBO Max for me is, I just feel like, their quality show is much higher than both Disney Plus and Netflix, right? I think that they have the highest quality of show. I just don't think they have enough of them for what HBO Max is. So
yeah,
well, I think
that's the thing. They're in their first year.
Yep.
So I mean, just like Disney Plus is in its first year. So I mean, but like as of today, for me, I like HBO Max a little better than Netflix. But I can understand how you say Netflix. There's a lot of Netflix is the original. So I mean, they got a bunch of stuff on there that a lot of networks don't have. They got a comedy section. They got Dave Chappelle. They got some anime on there. They got a bunch of original series. Then they got a bunch of old stuff that you could rewatch all day. So I mean, I can understand how people go with Netflix as number one, but
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting to see going forward what each network is able to put on there as far as original content. And then I also like the fact that they for HBO Max you don't have to pay for those same day release movies compared to Disney Plus. You got to pay like $40 for those. So
totally agree. I totally agree on that. Yeah, I think HBO Max. I think for me to push them over the edge of like a Netflix, I think they need to have more sustained shows. I like the miniseries because they're, you're in, you're out. You don't have to stick around. But I feel like they need shows that can survive a few that 4 or 5 seasons, right? I think that's what they should start looking at.
Yeah, or even more frequent shows like like I feel like Netflix pretty much has something coming out every month as far as like a new show, for you to watch, whether it be reality TV or whether it be, let's say one of the old shows, the Stranger Things. They got their like schedule, jam packed where there's always something coming out. While HBO Max and Disney Plus are just getting into it. So like I said, that's why I think it's gonna be interesting to see, what let's say 2-3 years down the line, what original content do they have, to keep people stuck on that streaming service.
Yep.
No, like Netflix does.
Yeah, Netflix has put together some really good series that people really enjoy, like you said, like Stranger Things and Ozark, and so I think that they obviously do a good job there. But like I said, they've had longer time to build, and honestly, Netflix got in early on developing their own original content, and they saw where things were headed. So kudos to them for kind of seeing what the future would hold, and getting out in front of that and building out their own, original series.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna be the streaming wars are just getting started.
But as of today, Tom's outside of his mind for thinking that Disney Plus is better than everything.
He's way out of his mind. Then I think that's pretty much it.
All right.
I want to thank y'all for rocking out with your boy Rich, JD, and Tom here on the Sports Sidebar Podcast. Give y'all something to ride out on.